Hello everyone and welcome back to another race here in the GT7 Championship Season 9, Round 3 here at Daytona, and we've got a very exciting race lined up for you guys here this afternoon. I am Natty, your commentator as per usual, and we're ready to run through the grid here for round number 3. Without further ado, let's go through how our driver's done in the qualifying. Nothing usual here. Play Dutchie gets his first pole position though of the season, lines up at the front of the field in his beautiful orange, white and black Mercedes. Joining him on the front row is a two-time GT champion, Saint, puts his McLaren on the front row of the grid. Just behind him in third is myself, Natty, in the BMW. Just ahead of Piero in fourth, who has already got 2 pole positions from the first 2 races of the season. Behind him in fifth is the returning Bon Evil, the current reigning champion, winning Season 8 in the Super Formulas. He starts in 5th place in the Porsche, ahead of Tiger Assassin in 7th. In 8th place is Cameron Kaboom, joining us in the Mercedes, as he'd done so last week in Deep Forest, and he starts ahead of Atom Grim, who starts down in 9th place in the Subaru. That might struggle around here with its lack of straight line speed. And joining us at the back of the pack, last but not least, it's current reigning Weekend League champion, Ben Roberts, in his Vodafone McLaren. He starts at the back of the field. And those are your competitors here tonight. I think I said 11th. I meant to say 9th for for Ben Roberts. Got to do a quick audio check as well, just to see if everything's working, unless someone can let me know in the chat. That would be great. Oh, no, we're not ready. No, we're not ready. My phone is taking so long to load that this audio tech is going to take a while. But I think it's working. We should be good to go. So without further ado, let's get this race underway. It's round number 3 of Season 9. We've got 26 laps of Daytona, 9 drivers, 5 red lights, 2 drivers to jump the start, but it's lights out, and away we go, and it's Tiger and Ben Roberts who jump the start. Saints slow off the line. Dutchie maintaining the lead of the race as they cross the start-finish line, with teammate Natty behind in second, Cameron and Saints side by side in the battle for third place. Bon Evil trying to get involved, but it's the 2 Brits in front fighting for a spot on the podium. Tiger and Ben Roberts side by side in the background, the 2 drivers that jump the start off the line. Look at this, Bon Evil with a great exit from turn 1, pulls up alongside the 2-time world champion, but can't quite find a way ahead of that McLaren. Will try the up and under through turn 3 in the run down towards the kink of turn 4 in the first sector. Hello, welcome everyone joining us in the chat. Apologies that this stream was a little bit delayed, but I have been away for the past week, and then we'll get Lago out as soon as possible. But it's Play Dutchie who leads the field away halfway through the opening lap, with teammate Natty G behind in second place. Cameron Kaboom off to a good start, jumps Saint, who's dropped down to 4th. Bon Evil has maintained 5th position, with Tim off to a good start up into 6th from 8th place on the grid. And Piero, he hasn't got the best of starts in the last 2 races, and he makes it 3 from 3, dropping a couple of places before the end of the first lap. This race took place last week, actually, at the time of recording. The Saints slow through the bus stop chicane. He's going to be under pressure from Bon Evil, who's going to pull up alongside door to door with the McLaren, but Tim's going to find a gap on the inside, a little bit of contact between the 2. As you can see, the drivers making their way through the bank's final corner. Cameron Kaboom pulls off the racing line to serve half a second time penalty. Look at the lead that the two front runners have got early on in this race, about a second, but maybe that could be a crucial second. Down towards the first corner, it's Tim ahead of Bon Evil, ahead of Cameron. Kaboom, is there going to be contact between the two? No, there isn't. Dutchie runs wide onto the grass on the exit of turn 1. Natty picks up a 5/10 penalty, pulls up alongside his teammate and takes the lead of the race down the inside and towards turn 3 on lap 2, and the two teammates are side by side, but Natty's gone deep and Dutchie goes through on the inside. Cameron Kaboom's dropped to 8th place after getting that time penalty, and Piero's going to go side by side with Bon Evil. The two Premier Series champions going to go wheel to wheel down at turn 5, with Natty on the outside of Toussaint gaining a position on the inside. A beautiful move from him. Not what Natty would have wanted with that 5/10 penalty to his name in a different coloured BMW compared to the purple and green. We've got blue and red. They make their way through one of 2 banked corners here at this Daytona road course circuit, to give him Toussaint a bit of a bump draft through the long swooping turn 9 as they approach the bus stop chicane. Got a comment in the chat saying, Nancy, how in the world could you drive the M6? I could not get it to work. I guess it just depends on your driving style, to be honest. It's just a car that I like to drive, and I thought I'd give something different a go compared to the McLaren or the Mercedes that I've driven in the past. But at the end of lap 2, Natty serves his 5/10 penalty, will drop a couple of positions. It was kind of awkward for him there to get off the racing line, just due to how many cars there were around him. Bon Evil pulling over to the inside of Tim in towards turn 1, thought he was going to send it. But you've got to be really careful when going for a move on the inside of the first corner that you don't hit the invisible pit lane exit barrier. But look how close the field are together. The top 8 separated by maybe a second and a half here. Ben Roberts not too far behind, maybe a couple of seconds off the pack. But it's really hard to pull away from the field. Tim on the inside of Toussaint, trying to gain a position up into second place. They're still going to go side by side on the exit of turn 5. Natty and Piero side by side in the background, but meanwhile up front, Toussaint on the inside of Tim might open the door for his teammate to follow along through. Tim gets a snap of oversteer on the exit and allows Bon Evil to filter through, and he's found a gap on the inside of Tiger, who's running high up on the banking before slotting back into the slipstream. Natty and Tim still side by side in the background. Natty going to get squeezed over into the wall whilst getting bumped by Piero. This could be interesting, going into the bus stop chicane. Who's going to back out? Tim on the inside. Natty yields. Tim up to 5th and Natty down to 6th. A couple of corners ago though, Tim was battling for second place. Now he's running in 5th. That's just how quickly things can change here at Daytona. Dutchie starts lap 4 in the lead of this race, but it's still up for grabs for anyone inside the top 8, and Ben Roberts isn't too far behind this pack either. Going in towards turn 1, once again Dutchie leads. Bon Evil not finding a way past Toussaint on this lap. Natty drifting his way through the exit of turn 1, with Piero in hot pursuit behind. Here goes Tiger down the inside of Bon Evil. That's a late lunge, but he's made it work. Bonnie's going to have the exit speed on the outside. Can he find room on the inside? Not on this occasion. Will he consider a send down towards turn 5? Not on this lap either. Tim's watching closely behind, ready to pounce on any opportunity he takes. He's got a little bit deep. That's opened the door for Natty to slip through on the inside. And Tim's dropped down to 7th place. Can he get back in the slipstream before Piero gets there? Just about. Pulls in front of the Frenchman and closes that door. But up front, Toussaint's closed down that gap to Dutchie. Is he going to consider a move in towards the bus stop? Gives the Mercedes a little bit of a bump draft going in towards the bus stop chicane, turn 10 and turn 11, interestingly. These counted as 2 corners as opposed to 4. Toussaint going purple, but we're going to see the lap times get quicker and quicker as the fuel goes down. And this sort of bump drafting, yes, it helps everyone else, but it's also the recipe for a massive accident if you get a bit of lag or it doesn't go as planned, especially through a corner, albeit a flat out little kink perhaps. That's Ben trying to look for a gap on the outside. Toussaint thought about sending one on the inside. And you expect to see the biggest crashes happen when you get what I call pack racing. They're 3 wide in towards turn 3. Not for long though. Tiger kind of gets shoved out wide, loses the position to Bonnie and Tim. Here comes Natty. Is he going to help the McLaren? He does. Can't quite find a way on the inside or the outside. Looks like Bonnie was pulled out to the inside of Toussaint, and he's got the move done up into second place. Like I was saying, you get your biggest crashes when you get pack racing. Drivers misjudging the slipstream or the effect of the slipstream braking, maybe at the same point that they brake for the whole race, but just that little bit of extra speed can send you into the back of someone. And with the ping pong physics that this game is known for, it's easy to cause a massive crash. Going down the back straights, Dutchie leads the field in towards the bus stop chicane. Toussaint and Tim make contact, and that's Toussaint off at the on the exit of turn 11, loses a position to the Finnish driver, and Tiger Assassin, his teammate, goes through. Meanwhile, Natty I can't say that word. In sympathy, picks up a 5/10 penalty for Toussaint's exertions of track limits, although Toussaint was assisted by our flying Finn. That's dropped Natty down into 8th place behind Cameron Kaboom as they go in towards turn 1 for the 6th time this race. Piero and Toussaint side by side in the battle for 5th place. Toussaint's come out on top in that one. Meanwhile, Natty G's going for a move down the inside of Cameron Kaboom and makes that move up into 7th place. But at the head of the train, Born Evil putting Play Dutchie under pressure for the lead of this race. The reigning champion back to find blood, it seems. Started down the field in 5th place, but has made his way up into 2nd. I don't think any of these drivers are currently in the position they started, apart from Play Dutchie leading the field away. Will we see a change of position here on lap 6 for the lead of the race? Here we go. Bonnie will try to swoop right round the outside of Play Dutchie down in towards turn 9. He's got the position and pulls ahead of the orange and black Mercedes. It's up for the Red Bull driver now to find and pull away, well, find time and pull away, as everyone else sits behind, perhaps saves some fuel. I'm just flicking through. Everyone's got fairly similar amounts of fuel. Everyone with the same idea. Look at this. Ben Roberts isn't even too far behind either, and but he's just out the slipstream range, which really will be costing him a lot of time from turn 8 all the way down to turn 1, and that's pretty much 60% of the circuit. We've got a new race leader starting lap 7, and it's Born Evil leading the Play Dutchie in towards turn 1, followed by Tim in 3rd. The 2 BCI drivers in 4th and 5th place. Piero and Natty in 6th and 7th. Cameron Kaboom just behind in 8th. No moves being made in towards turn 3, but the drivers continuing to stick together. Tim purple through the first sector, but it's Tiger Assassin with the fastest lap of the race, so 1 minute 46.3. It is likely we will see an improvement on that lap time as the fuel burns. Comment in the chat saying Bonnie mentioned rain for Tokyo Expressway, and I'm not a fan of that idea. it would certainly make for a spicy race, but one that could cause carnage and drama. The weather will be left on dynamics, so it will be up to the weather system in Japan to determine whether we get rain for that race or not. That takes place 2 races after this one. We've got Lago to go. At the time of recording, Lago has been done and will be streamed in the next couple of days. So stay tuned for that one, where I will have a co-commentator joining me for that one. So stay tuned to see who the special guest will be. Tiger Assassin mounting an attack on Attengrin for 3rd place, but dives into the pit. So does Toussaint, so does Piero. So we've got 3 drivers into the pits. Meanwhile, Cameron Kaboom and Xnati G have been left stranded out of the slipstream in 4th and 5th place. The top 3 now have the opportunity to pull away from the 2 drivers behind them on track. Meanwhile, the 2 BCR drivers and Piero are serviced in pit lane. And they will be fueling to the end of the race from here. Lap 8 of 26. It's an early stop off the mediums to go onto that red striped soft compound tyre. Let's see how it works out for them. It's Tiger ahead of Toussaint with Piero in 9th. Will anyone react? Now there are 2 ways that this race can be played here at a track like Daytona, where it's not full of straights like a Le Mans or a Tokyo. It does have an infield section. We will either see drivers react to that pit stop and pit this lap, or take their mediums slightly longer and work together in this slipstream train to try and pull out a gap. That could be a penalty, and indeed it is for Xnati G. Now, will that 1 second time penalty determine whether or not we see him come into the pits? Because by slowing down and serving that time penalty now, if you pull it to the pit, you're not at much of a loss as to if you carry on. Let's ride on board, and yeah, there you go. He's pulled off to the left-hand side. He's into the pits. There's not a lot of time between serving a penalty and the pit lane entrance. So Cameron Kaboom continues on without slipstream. He's got a job to do here to close down that gap to 3rd place. Meanwhile, Tiger and Toussaint, unsurprisingly, working together on those fresh soft compound tyres to try and take the lead of this race. By the time the leaders make their pit stops, where is Xnati G? He will be appearing on the left-hand side of the circuit any second now, you would hope. And there he is, in the back of shot. Couple of seconds behind Piero. So we're going to have an interesting... Usually the middle stints, the middle stages of these races tend to be a little bit of a slow burner, but I think we've poured a little bit of extra fuel on this fire, because we've got 4 drivers who have pitted a lot earlier than expected, and 4 drivers who have continued on longer on those medium compound tyres. Also to note, Tim is actually on the soft compound tyres. I don't think that was intentional. I think he forgot to change from qualifying. So he might struggle in the second half of this race. But at this stage of the race, it's important to have the fastest driver at the front of this train. Even if it's not your teammate and your championship rival, it is probably best that the fastest driver is at the front to pull you along and away from Tiger, Toussaint, Piero and Natty. Cameron Kaboom and Ben Roberts are both into the pits. Now, is that going to be a lap too late for Cameron? He had a little bit... He was behind Natty before they made their pit stops, so this could be fairly interesting. You can see Natty's about, if we work it out with the lap time, that's not really worked. He's about 2-3 seconds behind Piero. Where is Cameron Kaboom? He's still fueling, he's been released. There go the front three. Where is Natty G? Pulls out just ahead of the Brit. Goes a little bit deep though into turn 3. Now this will be very interesting. We've got 3 packs of drivers essentially fighting for the lead of the race. They were all together on lap 6 before they pitted. We've got Natty and Cameron, who I believe will work together to close up to the gap of Piero, Toussaint and Tiger, who will be working together to close up to the front 3 who are yet to make their pit stop. Tim going a little bit wide through the bus stop. That might have cost him a little bit of time. Dutchy picks up a half a second penalty. So does Tim. And this will be good news for Bon Evil, who could, for the first time in this race, pull out of the slipstream to the 2 cars behind and perhaps dominate this race from the front. Dutchy 1.7 seconds slower than his fastest lap, which was set a couple of laps ago. I don't think the leaderboard knows how to count, because we've gone 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 10, 11. So Play Dutchy's been doing some... don't know what he's been doing, but you can see there he's... Oh, there we go. Now he's done lap 9. But Bonnie with a lead in this race, good enough to pull away from the 2 cars behind. Tiger and Toussaint almost looked like they were going side by side through the first corner, but I imagine are working together. Tiger with the fastest lap of the race so far, so it's clear that he has some pace behind the wheel of that McLaren, the fastest man out on track at the minute. The wind has been slowly decreasing throughout the course of this race. We had a 5.9 tailwind in towards the bus stop chicane. It has now been reduced to 4.4. So that's just another factor that drivers have to take into account for in this race. Looks like Dutchy's lost a little bit of time, because Tim's closed up quite a lot to the back of the pole sitter, who's lost quite a bit of time, to the race leader and the reigning champ, who makes his season 9 debut. Lap 11 of 26, about to start lap 12 for everyone who's in 4th place and below. We've got a switch of drivers, with Toussaint overtaking his teammate before turn 1. Does Toussaint believe he has more pace than Tiger Assassin and has been released? We'll have to wait and see whether this works or not for the team. What's not ideal for them is they are bringing Piero along with them. They probably would have hoped for, or hoped that he'd have dropped off a little bit, but it's being dragged along. Natty and Cameron Kaboom still bumper to bumper in 7th and 8th place on those soft compound tyres, trying to close up to the back of the pack in front. Only one special livery for the American Grand Prix, and it is my dark blue, light blue and pinky red colour scheme. So I hope everyone enjoys it. I have been told from a couple of the drivers that I am to expect a couple of special liveries throughout the season, so stay tuned for some of them. It's always nice when drivers go the extra mile to make a special livery for a race, whether it's the home Grand Prix or a classic one like, you know, a Japan or an American circuit. But hello, leaders are into the pit lane. The front 3 are in. Grab your popcorn, because this is about to get exciting. The leaders are in, all with similar levels of fuel. Toussaint, Tiger and Piero will be seeing that on their leaderboard. It's hammer time for them three. I can even hear the drivers being serviced in pit lane as the new leaders make their way through turn one. This could be very close indeed. Let's ride on board with Toussaint. There is the race leader, Bon Evil. They're side by side on pit lane exit. Look at this, Natty and Dutchy side by side. Cameron Kaboom gets ahead of Tim. Contact with the three Brits out in front. I don't know where to look, but a beautiful camera angle showing the entirety of the hairpin at turn three. Bon Evil now splits the BCR drivers in second place, but on much fresher rubber. Natty's up into fifth ahead of Cameron in sixth and Dutch and Tim down in seventh and eighth place. So the undercut has worked exquisitely well for the new top four. Everyone else who stayed out has dropped to the back, apart from Bon Evil, who really had some great pace at the end of his medium stint. Didn't pick up any penalties like the two cars behind him, and can now attack the Season 1 and 6 champion for the lead of the race. As the sun begins to set over the grandstands at turn 1, the drama at Daytona is not over yet. In fact, we're only halfway through this 20-lap race. 26 lap race. Will Bon Evil go for a move on that McLaren in towards the first corner? He's going to bump the back of it in the run up towards turn one, but it's looking at a gap opening up on the inside perhaps, but doesn't decide to take it. Tiger rounds out the top three, and Natty trying to go around the outside of Cameron Kaboom, or defend from Cameron Kaboom, trying to mount an attack on his fellow Brit. Nothing in towards turn three. As a matter of fact, Natty with the fastest lap of the race on the last lap, 1:45.1. Will anyone be able to beat that? Toussaint running a little bit wide. He's opened the door for Bon Evil on the inside. Porsche doesn't quite have the straight line speed initially to draw alongside that McLaren, but it's going to go for it on the outside. Maybe the inside. They are side by side, door to door, and the run down towards the bus stop chicane. Bonnie brakes later and takes the lead of the race away from Toussaint, and can now try and pull away on those much fresher soft compound tyres. Natty's caught up to the back of Piero. It's going to be interesting to see what mood a lot of these drivers in. Are they going to want to sit behind and work together, or do they want to be the one at the front? Let's wait and see. The sun is setting. Natty is attacking. He's looking to the inside. Can't quite find a way through on Piero. So they make their way in towards turn 4. That's a send down the inside for ex-Natty G. Can he make it stick? They're side by side, but Natty's got the drive on the exit of turn 3 to go wheel to wheel with the McLaren through the kink of turn 4. Has he got room on the outside? Yes, he has. Becomes the inside for turn 5 and gets ahead of the Frenchman. It's now a British 1, 2, 3, 4 here at Daytona. He's just defending that inside line, so Piero can't quite find that way through. Play Dutchy's got himself up ahead of Cameron Kaboom and into 6th place, as the pack is still very much head to toe. But Bon Evil is extending his advantage out in front, ahead of Toussaint in 2nd, with Tiger in 3rd. It's a good result so far for the BCR team, although it's far from over. I think all of these drivers have at one stage of this race been in every single position between 1st and 7th. Natty's gone even quicker with a 44.8. He is not holding back. And goes for a move on the inside. Tiger lets the door, or leaves the door open. And gets the move done up into a podium position. We've got someone in the chat asking for a promotion for a low cost. No thank you. Thank you for the offer, but no thanks. Anyway, that's a send to the inside for Tiger Assassin. He's got a little bit too deep. Natty does the old switcheroo and takes back 3rd place. I don't think that was intentional from Tiger. He might lose the position to Piero, who was interested in getting past that McLaren. But not on this occasion. Tiger Assassin now back down the inside of Natty G, who goes side by side. They're 2x2 with Dutchy following him through. Tiger ahead of Natty and Dutchy ahead of Piero. Natty's going to try and go round the outside of Tiger Assassin. What a move this would be if he can pull it off. But not on this occasion. Tiger defending hard, maybe to try and get his teammate pull away and secure a 2nd place for the team. Blind not having any of that. Working together, bump drafting. That was a beautiful photo opportunity for the 3 cars separated by the length of an iPhone in the run up towards turn 10. Other phones are available, but you can see the sun beginning to set, the headlights beginning to light up the way, and the floodlights highlighting the action. The drama at Daytona. They are door to door, side by side, in the run up towards the start finish line. Nothing between the two. Natty G is going to have to try and work this one round the outside if he makes this one stick. Late on the brakes. Look at those brake lights glow up. What a move this would be if he can make it stick right round the outside. Not on this occasion. Tiger Assassin keeps 3rd place, but defending turn 3, defending 3rd place from the charging Natty G behind. Natty's teammate Dutchy interested in getting a move. They're going to go side by side, perhaps not on this occasion, but Cameron and Piero wheel to wheel, and Cameron moves his way up into 6th place. But once again, Natty defending hard. Contact, I think that was a bit of lag as Natty goes off and wide. Side by side now with Cameron Kaboom, but has the inside line for turn 6 and keeps 5th place. There is no fuel saving going on here. It's all about position. Born has left the field. He's gone. He's got about a 2-second lead to 2 in 2nd place. Tiger defending 3rd place with as much as he can to try and secure a 2nd place for his teammate. The problem is for him, his teammate's not exactly pulling away. But hello and welcome to everyone tuning in. Played actually slowing down to 7.5, 10th penalty. Lets Natty and Cameron Kaboom go through. Piero trying to make it 3 wide, perhaps in towards turn 1. Cameron Kaboom on the outside, Natty on the inside. Piero now on the inside, sends it late on the brakes, but can't quite find the way through. And well, Dutchy was running in 4th place, but he's now dropped down to 7th after serving a 5/10 penalty. Piero and Dutchy, former teammates, side by side. Piero trying to work it on the outside, but Dutchy gets a new stick on the inside. Moves his way up into 6th place. But at the front of this battle, it's Natty who's still stuck behind Tiger Assassin. Many a time he has been looking at the back of Tiger's rear wing, not only in this race, but in previous races this season and the last. It's interesting to note the 2 different lines that are actually being taken through turn 6 and 7. Tiger appearing to go a little bit wider through that corner, whereas I think it's best for the BMW to take a narrower, straightforward line. On board, is Natty going to go for a move? Always looking for that inside option, but doesn't take it on this occasion. You can see the rear view mirror, couple of headlights showing the presence of Gavra Kaboom and Play Dutchie. There's the Dutchman, the pole sitter, side by side with Gavra Kaboom. They're 2 by 2 in the run down towards turn 1, down the start finish straight. Natty and Tiger door to door, wheel to wheel, with Tiger on the inside. Natty's going to try it again late on the brake, swoops around the outside, down and towards the first corner, if I say so myself. What a move! Has the inside for turn 2, with the inside for turn 3. Can he make it stick? Tiger's going to try and swoop it around the outside. Dutchie's going to follow Natty through on the inside. But that was a beautiful move. And up into a podium position. But Tiger's back on the attack. Down the inside. Natty can get up into third, but he can't keep it. A little bit of a wobble from Tiger. And Natty keeps third place round the outside. Dutchie's got a good run and gets squeezed to the outside barrier. Look how close these 5 drivers are together. We're spectating Tiger and you can see all 5 of them in the same camera shot. So many different colours here tonight. Grey, green, black, white, orange, red, light blue, dark blue. It's such a beautiful grid as the sun has set, the moon has risen, and the night sky has awoken. Dutchie pulls over to the right hand side of the circuit to try and find a way around the outside of Tiger Assassin, who's found a gap on the inside that Natty's left open to go for it down and towards turn 1. Natty's going to try and work it around the outside of Toussaint, but can't quite make that work from that far back. Gavra Kaboom now slips one down the inside of Play Dutchie and moves up into 5th place. Dutchie drops down to 6th place. Goes wheel to wheel with his Mercedes teammates, not teammates though this season, but the only 2 drivers who have picked the AMG. And look who they have caught up to. Toussaint has now been dragged into this battle for 2nd place. Six laps to go here in Daytona. 6 drivers fighting for 2nd place. Natty's got a good run, but not quite good enough to pull up alongside and get ahead of Tiger Assassin. Looking on board from the rear wing of Toussaint, you can see the pack chasing him behind. Natty's going to go side by side with Tiger Assassin in the run down towards the bus stop chicane, but just lifts off, brakes earlier, doesn't want to be involved in an accident this late on in the race. Won't take any unnecessary risks. Boniva in the chat saying the Porsche felt surprisingly good here, but at Lago it was horrible. We won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen Lago. Well, no one's seen Lago yet because it hasn't been streamed. Natty side by side with Tiger Assassin for the 1085th time this race. Dutchie giving the BMW driver a little bit of a bump drop. Do you think Natty's going to try and go around the outside of Toussaint like he did to his teammates? Side by side, 2 by 2 and towards the first corner. They're 3 wide on exit with Dutchie slipping one through on the inside. On board with the Mercedes as he gets ahead of Natty and Cameron and sends one to the inside of Tiger Assassin. That's the late moves, forces the McLaren wide, but Tiger gets the switchback. Can he get the drive on the exit of the corner? The Brit and the German manufacturers are going to go side by side in towards turn 4 before the right-hander of turn 5. Natty's gone from 3rd to 6th in 3 corners. Little bit of contact between Dutch and Tiger in their battle for the final spot on the podium as Tiger slips one back down the inside. Cameron Kaboom might try and follow him through. This is amazing racing here at Daytona. Photographers having a field day. Cameron Kaboom opting to bump Dutchy on the outside as these guys separated by a couple of atoms. This could get spicy in towards the bus stop. They're 2 by 2 before following a single file tradition in towards turn 10 and 11. It's Dutchy who's benefited. Tiger, Cameron and Natty in 4th, 5th and 6th. Which way is everyone going to go? Left, right, down the middle. It's nearly off the track for Tiger Assassin. 2 by 2 again. Tiger and Cameron on the inside. Dutchy finds a gap. I don't know how he's found that gap, but it's a beautiful move from Dutchy who's to see himself back on the podium. Natty and Piero are side by side in their battle for 6th place. Tiger and Cameron wheel to wheel and they run down towards turn 3. They're 2 by 2, like Noah's Ark. Cameron's got a little bit wide, might open the door for Natty on the inside. Tiger gets a little bit wobbly on the exit. And I think Piero just ran out of room there on the grass. Natty now sending one down the inside of Cameron Kaboom. He's been overtaken so many times down at turn 5 that he's giving it a go himself, overtaking a couple of drivers. Still wheel to wheel with the Mercedes, but I think he's just about got ahead. Not quite, because Cameron Kaboom sees the open door and the opportunity to go back down the inside of Natty. What an amazing race this has been. Remember, Natty, Cameron, Tiger and Toussaint pitted a lot earlier than the rest of the field. Here comes ex-Natty G, though, down the inside of Cameron Kaboom in towards the bus stop chicane. They're still wheel to wheel. Cameron keeps the position. Meanwhile, up front, Born Evil has left the field as these guys have been battling hard. Are we going to see a move from Play Dutchy in towards the first corner? Sparks from the underneath of the McLaren. Contacting towards the first corner. Tiger and Cameron Kaboom have gone wide. Natty's also gone wide and off the track. Let's watch that one more time. That was a really weird and bizarre incident. I hope we get a better camera angle of it. Let's go from Cameron Kaboom down towards the first corner. Makes a little bit of a lag, I think it was, from Cameron and Tiger. Natty just outbrakes himself, makes him 3 wide off the track down at the first corner, and somehow Cameron's come out on top. Rather bizarre incident as Dutchy makes his way up into 2nd place. But it is still so close here at Daytona that you just can't call it for any of these positions apart from maybe first, which is set to be won by Bon Evil on his return. The battle for 4th, though, is yet from over. I should also point out Tim has been struggling to keep up on those medium tyres after starting on the softs, but is still running in 8th place. There's a plane landing in the background of the shot as Cameron Kaboom picks up a 1 second time penalty. That could be crucial this late on in the race. Is he going to drop out the slipstream because the pack is so close together that he might drop too far behind Piero to make an impact at the end of the race? In a minute, you're about to see a red and white. There it goes, that Mercedes pulling off. But a battle that's not died. Natty versus Tiger Assassin for 4th place. Look at those brakes illuminate under the night sky. Natty and Tiger side by side. I think the podium is an unrealistic target for these guys. Pierro's going to try and go through the door left open on the inside, but he can't find a way through. But back up to the front. And it's been a great race for Bon Evil, who has shown amazing pace in this race to pull away from the rest of the field. And it's a 10.5 purple and Natty's fastest lap. Is that a spin? Yes it is. You can hear the tyres screaming on that Mercedes. And for Cameron Kaboom, that could be curtains. What a way to rub salt in the wound with a 5/10 penalty. Three laps to go, 3 drivers fighting for 4th. Are they close enough to bring Toussaint into this battle or not? We'll have to wait and see. Fuel lights are flashing. Tensions are rising. It's the penultimate lap of the race. Here goes Tiger Assassin down the inside in towards the first corner. Natty's been really good at holding things round the outside of the first corner, but can he hold this one here on lap 25? Yes, he can. They're going to go side by side on the exit of the corner down towards turn 3. Natty defensive to the inside, goes a little bit deep, opens the door for Tiger Assassin to get the old up and under, but doesn't have the drive on the exit of the corner to make the move stick. I see Bon Evil commenting in the chat. I didn't quite read what he said, but he's got no idea what's happening behind him. He's too far out in front to even see what's happening behind. Tiger trying to desperately find his way past Natty. Can he do it down at turn 7? Not on this lap. He might have just cost himself a position to Pierro. There he goes, the Frenchman on the inside. 2 McLarens fighting for 5th. Pierro's not really had the opportunity to attack Natty this race. It's all been Tiger in this race. So Natty's got someone new to defend from, if he can. I think the McLaren and the BMW both have the same top end speed, but the McLaren gets there quicker in 5th and 6th gear. Fuel levels are lower for Natty and Tiger than Pierro. Bon Evil starts the final lap of this race in the lead quite comfortably, it has to be said. Here goes Pierro to the outside. Do we get the auctioneer out? They're 3 wide in towards the first corner. Pierro on the inside, on the outside. Natty late on the brakes. Can he make it stick? Side by side, door to door between the BMW and the McLaren. Pierro's on the inside. Natty's going to have to try and work it round the outside. That McLaren has... Sorry, the BMW has been good at holding it around the outside throughout the course of this race. Can it do it on this occasion? Not quite. But maybe being in the middle is the perfect position to be in at a track like Daytona. Natty, I think he's defending from Tiger rather than attacking Pierro, being the middle car. And he's got a puncture to the rear right. Pierro's all over the place. He nearly has a puncture to the rear right. Natty parking his car in the middle of the circuit. Look at that, no grip through turn 6 and 7, drifting his way through. Luckily for him, it's the final lap of the race. But we are not quite finished in this battle for 4th place. How will Tiger find his way through? Will he find a way through? Is Natty going to attack him towards the bus stop? Not yet, but he's letting Piero know he's there. Meanwhile, up front, it's been a great race for Bon Evil on his return to the league. The reigning champion continues as he left off last season. He wins here at Daytona as he crosses the start-finish line with Dutchy in second after starting on pole. The top three, Piero, Camera, Two Saints going to finish in third. How is it going to finish for fourth? Natty pulls over to the outside, but he's run out of fuel. He's run out of fuel. Does Tiger get Piero? No, he doesn't. Piero just gets Tiger to the line. Let's get an action replay shot. Natty watches them cross the line side by side as he coasts over in fifth gear. But we can get a couple of action replays of this. From Piero's point of view, there goes Natty. That was pretty much spot on, actually, for an attempt. That is how close it was at the line. And that was the difference at Daytona for fourth place. Unbelievable finish to an unbelievable race. Cameron Kaboom was really thrown out of the equation when he picked up that 1 second time penalty through the bus stop, unfortunately for him, and then dropped it like Tim has over the line. Not quite to that effect, though. But wow, what a race we've had. 26 laps of entertainment. Drama at Daytona. And to run through your finishing grid, it is your finishing order for today's race. It's Tim in 8th, Cameron in 7th. Myself running out of fuel in 6th, with Tiger in 5th, Piero in 4th, Two Saints in 3rd. Your top three: Play Dutchy from pole to 2nd place, and Bon Evil from 5th to 1st. Wins at Daytona for the first time this season in his first race as well. Pretty impressive stuff from our reigning champion. Let's get our post-race photo as per usual. There you have it. There you go. Thank you everyone for tuning in to another amazing race, and all the drivers who took part. I've been X90G, your commentator for today. Make sure you stay tuned for the next couple of days where we have action from Lego, and what a race that was. Trust me, the entertainment levels are high this season. After this race, it is Play Dutchy who leads the championship, followed by Two Saints and Piero in second level on points. Those are your top three in the standings. Thank you ever so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later. Goodbye.